What's up, everybody? My name is Shannon, and I am still waiting for my Satyr, and I'm sure you are just as surprised as I am, because today we are talking about the first book in the Grishaverse series, Shadow and Bone by Leigh Bardugo. So, a couple of things to get out of the way before we get started with the video. This will have spoilers in it, because I am spoiled on certain things that do happen just regarding the ships. I don't really know anything that happens, like, plot-wise, but that did really impact, like, my headspace with reading this book. It does impact like the things that I want to say regarding the writing and going forward. And I do need to talk about some bigger plot things that happen in this book just to kind of get my point across. So there are going to be spoilers in this video. You have been warned. I have been actively avoiding the Grishaverse series, so I know like what happens. I know what Leigh Bardugo does with the series. I know how the ships turn out and like all that kind of stuff. So I was like, you know what? I'm not about that life. I like the enemy ship. I like the villain ship. I don't like baiting. I don't really want to go down that road. But when I read Catwoman Soul Stealer, I really enjoyed that. That was by Sarah J. Maas. So good. I wanted to read another book in that DC universe, so I decided to pick up Wonder Woman Warbringer, which is also by Leigh Bardugo. I have made a video about this. I talked about my issues with it, but she does the same thing that she does here. She heavily baits the enemy's ship, and then she turns it around at the end and says, oh my god, how dare you ship this? It is so problematic and so horrible. God, girl power, Wonder Woman doesn't need a man. It was very irritating. It made me feel like called out for caring. It felt like she was, you know, making fun of me for reading this book and wanting this thing to happen. And it just overall was a really horrible feeling. So I knew that I should not read Shadow and Bone because I knew it was going to happen again. But I found this book in the Lost and Found It work, and I was like, you know what? It's free. It's been a long time. I know what I'm getting myself into. I can handle my feelings here. Well, I really enjoyed this book for about like the first 2/3 of it. We're following a girl named Elena Starkov. We're in this world that is very Russian inspired. It's really beautiful. I loved the map. I loved the costuming. Like everything was just so breathtaking. This world is really, really cool. I loved learning about the Grisha. They're basically kind of like wizards or magic users within this world. They all have a particular affinity for something, whether it's summoning fire or healing people or, you know, like fixing things together, like all that kind of stuff. And when Elena is discovered to be one of these Grisha, she is taken and put into this school for training, and that's just, you know, all the typical YA stuff that I just really like. And when that was paired with like the costuming and the world building, it just really was like hitting those right notes for me. So I knew I was going to be in for it. So here's the thing with Elena. She wasn't just discovered to be a Grisha. She was discovered to be this like legendary sun summoner. They haven't seen one of the like in forever and ever and ever. And she, with the help of the Darkling, could destroy this thing called the Shadowfold, which is full of demons and monsters and is plaguing this country, like all that kind of stuff. And the Darkling is in charge of all of the other Grisha. Listen, okay, like, you can't tell me not to ship the Sun Summoner and the Darkling. Like, I'm sorry, like, that's just the way things are going to go. You can't tell me that that's not the ship. And then you also cannot cast Ben Barnes to play the Darkling and then tell me he's not the love interest. That's just not how it works, okay? I know that they're not in-game. I know that they were not the ship, so I was trying to take all of this with a grain of salt. But up until this point, like everything was just really hitting for me. And I was like, you know what? Maybe it's not as bad as I thought it was going to be. Maybe I was building it up in my head. But then we hit about halfway, and somebody from Elena's past comes back into her life. So Elena was orphaned, and she was raised with another boy named Mao. They did everything together. They grew up together. They've been completely inseparable. They were in the army together. When we are introduced to them at the beginning of this book, like Elena is like pining hard for him. And in order to unlock her power even, she has to let him go. Like he was a barrier for her to be able to unlock her power. I knew that drama was going to come back in. Like I knew he was going to come back eventually. I know that he's the end game ship, but when he comes back in, I just felt like everything we'd done at the beginning was like thrown in the trash, because suddenly all this emotional work that had been going on with our main character is just completely gone because, oh, but Mal does love you, and oh, he was sending you letters, and oh, he didn't get your letters, and just all this. And I felt like she was really taking like 3 steps back. And then suddenly, because he says so and like one other character says so, the Darkling is the villain, and he's not going to work with Elena. He's going to enslave her, put this collar around her neck, and take control of the fold. And I'm like, why? Nothing had really been hinted at this kind of plot twist. Like, all of a sudden, it's just all told to you. And Elena doesn't question it. She's just like, okay, good enough for me, and runs away. I was just really confused by this turn. And then she meets up with Mal again, and it just didn't make any sense with where she'd been at the beginning of this book. So I know that I'm setting myself up for frustration by continuing on with the series. I am planning to read the other books in the series. I just want to see what happens. I want to see, like, where she takes this, because I do think that Leigh Bardugo has created this amazing world, but I do know where we're headed, and I know I'm just setting myself up for more pain. What irritates me the most is that it does read like a cautionary tale. The Darkling to me does read like this seductive, like, dark thing that is trying to, like, get Elena to, like, awaken her power, come to the dark side, like, all that kind of stuff, and it's presented as cautionary, like that is a bad thing that you are supposed to resist. Whereas I feel like it's right there. She's almost there, but she just doesn't see it. Like, what the Darkling is doing is he's helping Elena discover who she is. She was literally making herself sick by hiding her power so that she could stay with Mal. And when she let him go, she became so much better. She was so much happier. So I don't understand how, like, you could be, like, almost there and present this and be like, you know what? No, never mind. We're gonna go this direction. It's just very, very frustrating. And I really like the Darkling as a character. I know he's gonna keep coming back. I am worried because I highly doubt, like, Leigh Bardugo has, like, learned anything, but this did come out in, like, 2012, so it has, you know, some time has passed, so we'll have to see. But overall, I am giving this book a B-. I really enjoyed it despite everything that happened. When I finished it, I felt very frustrated and, like, just hollowed out. Like, it really did remind me of when I read Wonder Woman, where it was like, oh, okay, so I'm not supposed to care about these things, and you presented all this stuff to me and then you took it all away from me. Like, what was the point? Like, what was it for? And normally this would make me not want to continue on with the rest of the series, but I am so taken with the world that I do want to continue on with it. I wouldn't recommend it. Like, I'm sure by this point most people have read this series. I'm very late to it. Like I said, I've been actively avoiding it, and I also know that I'm kind of in the minority when it comes to these opinions, but I wouldn't recommend this experience because it doesn't feel good. I am interested, though, in the series. I wonder if they're going to make some changes. I wonder if, like, things might be different here and there. And, you know, Ben Barnes, he's great. So I'm excited about that. I have heard that Six of Crows is better. I am planning to read that as well. I did get the audiobook not too long ago. So we're just gonna have to see where this goes. I am giving this a B-. I'm very frustrated with myself, and I would not recommend the experience. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you liked it, be sure to hit that like button down below, and don't forget to subscribe to Talk Books with me every week. That is everything I got for today, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.